All right, guys, our guest tonight is TNA superstar Ethan Carter III, EC3. How you doing tonight, man?
Oh, sup. I am doing excellent and very excited to bring hardcore justice to you guys personally tonight on a Wednesday, 9 Eastern, Spike TV. New day, would probably be the best word, new day of the week. Same time, same channel, rock and roll.
Awesome. Listen, you were front row when your Aunt Dixie went through a table at the hands of Bully Ray. What was it like being part of the build to that moment, and what's next for the Carter family now?
That's an interesting thought. I was not actually front row, because front row was the entire TNA roster surrounding the ring with a bunch of damn hooligans, bloodthirsty hooligans, watching a poor woman go through a table defensively. I was kind of behind them, bleeding after the fight of my life. But being a part of that story, that build-up, that culmination, it was surreal. It was awesome. It was very rewarding to do.
Okay, well, what's next? Now that you're the nephew of your Aunt Dee, she broke her back. She wants to. I know she's going to stay involved with the company. What's next for you? What's next for her?
Well, I think now is the perfect time for EC3 to kind of represent the Carters in TNA. Aunt Dee is gone. She is broken back, and she is staying away from wrestling. And as the lone liaison of the Carter family, I feel that it is my duty to take control, and whether that is by assuming control of operations or assuming control of the World Heavyweight Championship, either one of those or both will be sufficient today.
Mike, you all right?
Yeah, the reaction to Dixie going through the table has obviously been huge, garnered some mainstream attention, and led to a nice rating for TNA. With that in mind, do you feel like that moment might serve as a turning point of sorts for TNA in terms of creating some more positive momentum moving forward and establishing even more interest in the product?
I think the eyes are on us now to continually deliver like we have been. I think that's a good start. It's a good, it's like starting a football game with taking a touchdown, taking it back on a kickoff to get a touchdown. Great start. We have the momentum. Now we just have to keep fulfilling. And I think it's an epic moment that should live in wrestling lore, but also now the focus is on the talent to back that up.
BG?
Ethan, you've been able to work alongside many veterans of TNA. Is there one main takeaway you've learned from working or talking with them? I learned a lot working with Norv Furman in the beginning. I mean, the little together's wing showed me a few things, and as I mercilessly beat him countless times, I gained a lot of confidence in myself. But seriously, I couldn't ask for a more stellar list of legends to be in the ring with. I mean, from Sting to Kurt to Bully Ray. I'm trying to make a right-hand turn without killing myself and tell this good story. So, forgive me. But, I took a lot away from each one of those. Sting, for instance, was the icon that he is, to be able to verbally spat with him in the ring and kind of learn what it's like to pacing and what it's like to actually be truly ingrained in kind of the subculture of wrestling fans, as opposed to getting a response. There's a big difference. I learned that just being a friend with him. With being with Kurt, I mean, that was a guy that I became a wrestler because of what he did, not only in the ring but outside of it, just the way he always combined entertainment and the best wrestler. So what was not to love about that? And then with Bully Ray, I mean, it was my first real program where we got to really take it to each other and be physical and tell that long story with a satisfying conclusion. And I learned a lot, and just being on a lot of events with him, being able to do things in the ring. I mean, there's a lot to it that you can only learn from being in there with guys that are better than you, that have been around.
Oh, well, the big news, like you mentioned last week, was Impact Wrestling moving to Wednesday nights. From a wrestler's perspective, what impact do you think the move will have on the company now that the show won't be a direct competition with the NFL, or potentially even SmackDown if it makes a transition from Fridays to Thursdays?
Yeah, one thing I noticed about TNA is that it's going to have this loyal fan base, and then we just need to improve on that, and it seems like we have with the past few weeks. The past couple of months with the TV. As far as no direct competition, I know when it comes to NBA and NFL,
they kind of bite into us a little bit on Thursday nights, so it's going to be great to be away from that. But at the end, we just need to keep delivering Dynamite television to keep attracting viewers. And I think Wednesday night's a great time to do it because I seriously see nothing on Wednesday nights when I watch TV. And I watch a lot of TV. So it's actually personal benefit to me because I like to watch the NFL and NBA too, so I don't have to miss them at work, which is nice. And I'm very selfish, so
Yeah, but
I like
that's
what
Mike Chiari.
Yeah, you mentioned before you had the opportunity to work programs with legendary wrestlers like Sting and like Kurt Angle. But who's someone you haven't worked with extensively yet, either in TNA or another promotion, that you'd like to go up against at some point?
That's a really great question. As far as other promotions, I mean, anybody who's a top money-making draw would be that, the answer to that. And I don't need to name names. I think you guys know who's the big stars. But as far as in TNA, Bobby Roode's a guy that is one of the most phenomenal in-ring technicians I've seen, and I know he can bring a lot out of me. I briefly got a chance to work with EY a little bit before he had the championship, and he's seriously just one of the most fluid guys in the ring too, and I'd like to mix it up with him. Our roster's pretty stacked, so it's hard to I don't want to name everybody on the roster, but I could pretty much name everybody on the roster I have not yet gotten a chance to be in the ring with and say that's somebody I want to be in the ring with. But then again, Bobby Lashley is the champion, and if my goal is to be champion, I need to be in the ring with the champion. So there's another.
BG?
Ethan, you've been doing a great job receiving heat from the fans and then creatively playing off their negative chants. How do you enjoy playing a villain, and do you think it is difficult to be a fan favorite in today's world of wrestling?
I enjoy being myself, and if I'm portrayed as a villain who is being harassed by a group of people and outsmarts them by cleverly retorting, then I guess I'm a villain. But I know what you're saying, and the thing is, I've been a wrestling fan my whole life. I've sat in those seats, and I've chanted those things. So naturally, when the opportunity comes where I'm going to have them chanted at me, I've thought of a couple ways around it. But as far as portraying a protagonist as opposed to an antagonist, I think it is a little more difficult just with the way wrestling fans seem to be wired. Because if you're an utmost good guy, you're very endearing to children and women, but you're also portrayed negatively amongst grown men like you or I. So it's hard to find that balance, and I think the best way to do it is to be yourself, accept whatever reactions you receive, and run with them. I mean, anybody that is a top babyface that could get booed and still, at the end of the match, wind up having the majority of the audience cheer him, which we've seen before, I mean, that's a testament to how to do that correctly, I think.
Oh, well, listen, it's well known that you worked for WWE for several years before you made the jump to TNA. In my opinion, you were one of the most underutilized talents during your time with the WWE and NXT. Was there
mine too.
Yeah, really? I understand. Perfect. Was there satisfaction in finding success almost immediately with TNA, and did you enjoy proving the doubters wrong?
I'm an extremely motivated person, regardless of negative things that happen to me. So, but I wouldn't lie to you to say that, okay, look, see, told you, this is me. But, I can't worry about things that happened in the past or the negative things because I try to look at what's going to be positive and where my focus is, and my focus is on making TNA the best I possibly can make it, and whatever that takes to do, I will do. Is there satisfaction here? People like, they really dropped the ball on you. Yeah, to an extent, but I knew that, and, I work for my personal satisfaction and then for my bosses as well. And as long as I get thumbs up and paid by somebody, I feel like I'm doing my job, and I'm cool with that.
Mike Yart?
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Oh, yeah, but just, it's hard to say. Just being driven helps. And, hey, if you look at any athlete, any entertainer, they're all going to come to times where if it's handed to you, if it's easy, it's not worth having, and it hasn't been easy. Nothing's really been handed to me, but I stayed in the game long enough to get an opportunity that I'm hopefully knocking out of the park every chance I get. And only focus is to keep doing it, keep living, because at the end of the day, it's the best job in the world. You're doing it right.
Okay, last round of questions, Mike Curry.
Yeah, TNA is making a bold, groundbreaking move, holding Bound for Glory in Japan this October. You have a little experience working in Japan, but how do you feel about holding a pay-per-view over there, and what type of adjustments do you think you'll have to make as a performer?
Oh, you guys have very smart questions.
This is not just any run-of-the-mill show, man. We planned this out. We're ready for you. You came in here. We're ready for you, man. We've got a hardcore war extreme 6-man thing for you.
Well, I hope I'm holding up my end. But as far as I've only been to Japan once, and it was awesome. One thing I noticed is that I watched all the matches before mine, and a lot of the Japanese style you're accustomed to I saw out there. And so what I did is I kind of brought an American-style approach to it with entertainment, but then backing it up in the ring, and it got a great response. So I think TNA as a company will be great over there to give it a shot. As I said before, like all the risks we kind of taken the past couple of months have paid off pretty good. So I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be a unique environment, and I also think it allows us kind of a different aspect to a show for an American audience that they might purchase the show and see something different. Maybe they've never seen Japanese wrestling, maybe seeing some of that style incorporated with the talents they're familiar with. So I think it's pretty cool. And, hey, Japan's fun, so I'm excited to go.
BG?
Ethan, you've been involved in many comedic segments, such as the ones with Willow and Rockstar Spud in the Woods, which had a very campy horror movie feel. And you've excelled in these segments. Do you enjoy doing comedy, or would you prefer to do more serious segments?
I think it might have been a negative critique in my book at WWE, is that they thought I was all about doing comedy things, but I don't think any of the things I've done have been comedic. I look at them as extreme scenarios with bizarre personalities acting accordingly. So with the stuff with Willow, I mean, at the end of the day, it is I said that like 3 times at the end of the day. The thing with Willow is a rich, entitled kid with his goofy lackey hunting a demon in the woods. There's 2 ways to look at it. If you take it super seriously, you're going to be on a wrestle crap. But if you have fun with the intricacies of this bizarre situation, it can make pretty decent television. And that's the way I look at it. I like bringing entertainment. Like I never say I enjoy doing comedy, like like pulling something out of my pants and relaying on that. But I do like the fact that you can bring entertainment and you can back it up with physical and athleticism and stuff of that nature. Sort of like Edge and Christian in their run with 5-second poses, and then game-changing TLC matches. Like it all fit, it all made sense. Kurt Angle in his early run to 3 highs, but backing it up by making people tap out. Like that's what attracted me to wrestling. That's what I love, and that's the kind of thing I like to portray.
Awesome. Listen, that's all we got for you, man. Another huge thanks to Ethan Carter III for coming on the show. Listen, we appreciate your time. Hey, listen, before you go, they yelled at me. They said I couldn't do this. I've got a good nickname for you. I want to run it by you, all right?
Well, I've already stolen 2 ideas from earlier interviews, so of course I'm going to take this and clean up my own. So yeah,
okay. Please. I mean, then you might have heard it before, but I've got a nickname for you. The Boca Raton Bad Boy. Have you heard that one before?
Didn't Taz call me that once?
I don't know. I don't know if he did, but if he didn't, please use that because it fits you perfectly. You have the hardcore icon or whatever the one you were saying before. That's fantastic as well. You've got several good ones, but please use that one. I will let you use it. Take it, please.
Do you like it better as the Boca Raton Bad Boy, or do you like it as the Bad Boy from Boca Raton?
The first one, of course, because it's almost.
You thought of it.
Because I thought of it, and it makes you seem like a fighter. I think what is it? The Huntington Beach Bad Boy, that Tito Ortiz, right? So it's like a play. You're like an MMA fighter. You know what I mean? It works perfectly.
Well, yeah, and like you'll see on coming television that we've taped already that I get into a bunch of fights in crazy outfits. So it kind of fits, like, hey, I'm a guy who can get into a street fight in pink pants and I can win. That stuff.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, if you want to take that and use that, please. It's all yours, sir. It's all yours.
I'll put it in the vault. For sure.
Another huge thing. Thanks so much for your time, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen, and tune in tonight and every Wednesday. So rock and roll.